From Hollywood, time once again for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is a program all about money and what makes it happen. It's estimated that 90% of American adults own a cell phone and 88% of teenagers. By next year, there'll be 6 billion devices in circulation in what's become a nearly $400 billion industry. And it's truly amazing when you consider all the knowledge ever produced by the human race is accessible through a 3 by 6 inch device in your pocket. Cell phones are constantly being improved upon to keep pace with manufacturers' sales goals, and the increased functionalities means that we as humans have more reasons to use them. According to Pew Research, 67% of us admit to checking our phones for calls or messages, even though the phone didn't ring or vibrate. Many people send text messages these days rather than actually calling and speaking with someone, but now that phones have speech recognition technology, people are speaking their intended text messages into their phones, and as the phones translate speech to text, our phones are acting as intermediaries. You can speak English into your phone and have it come out in Italian. You can have a cell phone call with a Los Angeles area code, make a call while you're in Denver to a phone with a Miami area code while that person's in Chicago, and the call will still connect. And the funniest thing is, if the call drops, we actually get upset. You can get a jaywalking ticket in New Jersey for walking while looking down at your phone. And the light poles in London, well, they're now padded because so many people have been injured walking into them. 25% of all car accidents are caused by drivers distracted by their phones. Now, try this. Ask a 6-year-old what he or she would most like as a gift, and chances are better than not the answer is going to be a new smartphone. Now, if I'd been asked the same question when I was 6, I probably would have said a box of 64 Crayola crayons with the built-in sharpener. Now here's something nobody has to ask you about. It's our toll-free number, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program, 888-259-4449, to get free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Well, our first guest this week is joining us direct from Phoenix, Arizona, Mr. Greg Lambrecht. Of course, Greg is the CEO of Single Point Incorporated. SING is their stock symbol. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks, Don.
We've been discussing acquisitions quite a bit lately. What's the latest regarding your acquisition activity?
Yeah, I want to kind of get into that today with, to let the shareholders know what a great position Single Point is in. Of course, we announced previously that we did a convertible note for $5.5 million. We've taken $500,000 of that. We only take what we need, and then as we close acquisitions, we can draw down more on that. We also announced that we are starting our S1, where we will register shares up to $12 million. Moreover, we're also talking with another company on a debt deal up to $10 million. So because Single Point has put in the time and energy and money to become fully reporting, we are getting a lot of attentions from investors. And because of that, right now, we have 3 different acquisition deals that we expect to close this quarter. One of the things that's happening to Single Point is because these acquisitions are larger and they have to be audited, they are taking much more time than, I guess, our previous acquisitions when we were a pink. But the good news is that we have the ability to raise the money, we have the ability to close these deals, and between the 3 of them, we expect to show an additional $5 million worth of net profits. Right now, last year we did $1 million, which was up almost 100% from the year before. So, as far as acquisition and raising money, we are on the right track, and we're really excited about what could possibly happen to Single Point this year. And I'm really talking about increasing our revenues, whether it's $5 million or $10 million or even more. That's really what we're focused on.
Well, basically, when you're fully reporting and making acquisitions, you really need to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, right?
Yeah, it's much it's much more work, but this is the next level. This is the game that we wanted to be playing in, and we feel like, for example, our sweet spot right now for acquisitions are somewhere between a company that's doing maybe $1 million or $2 million in revenue. And our strategy is to do 2 or 3 of those. And as we show the public and the investors that we can successfully acquire these companies and let them run with their current management, I think at that point we'll start looking at larger acquisitions. And what I mean by that is maybe a company that's doing 5, 10, 15 million in revenue. So that's the direction we're headed.
Once again, Single Point Incorporated, SING. Great update, Greg. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Don, and go sing.
Well, joining us now is Aquaman, and it's very apropos because it's so wet here in Southern California. Of course, I'm talking about Riggs Eckelberry. He's the CEO of Origin Clear. OCLN is their stock symbol. Welcome back to the program.
I'm not ripped like Aquaman, but I'll take it.
Well, you know, you're the water guy. You're the dean of water, and we got plenty of water going on in Los Angeles right about now.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll be spending the President's Day weekend up on the slopes. I'll report back.
Nice. Just a different form of water.
The kind that you love.
Yeah, it's the kind you can ski on.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So it's been very interesting. You probably caught the announcement earlier this week about Progressive Water's on fire.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, I told you a while ago about, you know, Mike Jenkins getting this email out of the blue that he thought was a Dear John letter. And it turned out he'd won against 5 other huge multinationals. So that really was a big piece of January, but it was by no means all of it. There's a long list of deals that have been cooking. So they're on a roll. Modular Water continues to perform beautifully, so that's coming up behind. Mm-hmm. See, Progressive can only scale up so much because they're essentially a service company.
Right.
Modular is more of a product company,
exactly.
So it's more scalable, and they're coming up behind, with Progressive being the build base for them, right? So that's a good setup. And then you may have also caught that we have a new PR agency,
right?
Transmedia Group out of Florida, and they know all about the green algae and the red algae and the fecal matter and the multi-million-dollar homes and all that stuff. So
they're engaged.
They're delighted to be part of it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And the other thing that people are asking me, so Riggs, you haven't been talking about this acquisition. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Is it off? I'm like, no. First of all, there's so little I can say, right? It's all ... And I spoke, a few weeks ago about this, what I call the pearl of an acquisition. It's a wonderful company with great profit margins. Well, that's on track.
Okay.
And our investment bankers, TCA Capital, are very hard at work on it. And things, the best I can tell you is it's on track. I can't, for fear of saying more than I should.
Right.
Right.
Well, what people don't realize, especially in the public company venue, that you have to cross all the T's, you have to dot all the I's before you can announce an acquisition, because otherwise you're not being fully transparent.
Not only that, you don't want to condition the stock, et cetera, by
right.
Having a false alert. So
exactly.
Our attorneys in New York, are well paid to keep us from doing stupid things, and that's not one of them. But in addition, TCA is also devoted to really preparing us for my personal ambition, which is to get on the NASDAQ.
Right.
And they say, we're going to basically run a parallel track of get the acquisitions done, while at the same time working on the longer project of really getting the company ready for really what is a whole new phase of being what yesterday I called, in a meeting with them, the next large water company in America.
Well, how does it feel to be the disruptive force in what has been an archaic industry?
Right. So first of all, we had to figure out that, you know what? They don't want new technology.
Right.
So okay, we'll figure out another way of presenting this, because alien technology just doesn't play well. And I don't blame the water industry. They got public health concerns and so forth. But it's not a high adoption space. So instead, we found this incremental technology of the package.
Right.
Right. And that's gone great. And then we're going to stealth our own technology in there. But meanwhile, even with all that, J.L. Kindler, I'll have him on the show next week.
Okay.
He is in India, and he's doing a large deal there, which we'll be able to talk about. He's doing a fine job.
Now, of course, in foreign countries, you're much more readily received than you are here, because, again, we're not dealing with the age-old archaicness, the infrastructure that we have here in the United States.
Here we have infrastructure falling apart.
Right.
There they got none. So you're right. It's like, okay, let's do this, and there's no legacy issues to deal with. So yeah, he's doing very well over there.
And when people ask me to describe your company, I say basically the Uber of water.
I like it. Yeah.
Another slogan I've given you. I'm not charging you enough.
Yeah, really. What's up with that? We'll figure out a way.
Once again, the company is Origin Clear, OCLN. We're talking with the Dean of Water, Aquaman, whatever adjective you want to give him. He is the Dean of Water. So much information to divulge and so much more to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Joining us now via Skype is Dr. Cindy Orser. She's the Chief Scientific Officer with a company called Digipath Incorporated. DIGP is their stock symbol. Dr. Orser, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you, Don. I'm happy to be here.
We're really glad to have you. You're one of the most respected cannabis experts in the world. I know you're pretty proud of what you're building at Digipath. Now, last week, CEO Todd Denkin was on, spoke about the Grow Sciences division, how it can change the future of cannabis-based businesses, giving them the science to succeed. Can you explain on that?
Yeah, so one of the things that really distinguishes Digipath Labs is that we've always had a very strong R&D component in parallel with all of the mandatory testing of cannabis that we've been doing. And so we've focused on analyzing all of this data we have, and particularly for potency. So that includes cannabinoids and terpenes. And early on, something we realized was that it's actually the contribution of the terpenes and therefore the terpene chemoprofiling that is actually what's distinguishing across cannabis strains. So right now, strain naming has pretty much become branding because there are so many strain names out there and cannabis strains that have the same chemo profile based on cannabinoid content. But when you look at the terpene content, you start to see that there actually is some variability out there, and they provide a strong metric to distinguish these strains down to the point of being able to identify the strains. So we've formed this new entity, Grow Sciences, that is based on exploiting what we've learned about all of these terpene profiles.
Well, terpene is a term that many people may not be familiar with. They're one of the things that Digipath has a deep understanding of. Can you explain terpenes to our audience and what Digipath is doing to advance their understanding?
Yes, so terpenes are one of the most widespread groups of chemicals in nature. Almost all plants make them, insects make them, in fact, humans even make them. So we see a similar parallel as we do with cannabinoids interacting with the human endocannabinoid system. These plant-based terpenes are also physiologically bioactive, and they interact with a different set of receptors in the human body. So they're highly relevant to the chemistry of cannabis. And as I was alluding to earlier, they are actually what's responsible for the individuality of cannabis strains, the aroma, the fragrance, how we perceive the strain, but more importantly, the physiological impact that these terpenes are having with the cannabinoids in the cannabis. So they combine into what's been called the entourage effect. And so we've been spending a lot of time focusing down on terpenes, which are considered safe by the FDA, so they have no stigma of their association with the cannabis plant. They're widely used for fragrance and flavorings already. And we're just now seeing how we can develop various terpene master mixes for use in both consumer products and agricultural world.
Almost out of time, Dr. Orser, but what makes Digipath unique and uniquely positioned?
Well, you know, we're well established now in the testing market. We're ISO accredited. We go the extra distance. We have this program now focusing on terpenes as well as our cannabis testing business, which continues to grow at about 20% per year. So we now feel with our new subsidiary and Grow Sciences that we look to have a very promising future, and we hope investors will join in with our success.
Once again, the company is Digipath Incorporated. DIGP is their stock symbol. Fascinating education, Dr. Orser. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Have you heard the news? There's only one flat-fee news distribution network on the market. It's called Access Wire, and it's exclusively from Issuer Direct. Any day, anytime, the Access Wire News Network can deliver your press release to more than 1,500 media outlets in 98 countries. Access Wire also delivers real-time engagement analytics. You will learn who read and shared your press release and more. Best news of all, getting started is easy. Visit accesswire.com and extend your company's news reach today.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. On Shark Tank, we always look for the next big thing. Today, it's digital currencies like Bitcoin. But everyone wants to know, is it real and how do I get started? Yes, it's real, and the best way to start is setting up your free digital wallet with singlepoint.com. They make it easy to buy, use, and store digital currencies without banks or debit and credit cards. Use promo code SING for your free wallet and informative newsletter. That's singlepoint.com.
Does this sound familiar? Turned down for a mortgage? Credit card interest over 20%? Didn't get the job you wanted? The problem is your credit score. Unsure what your credit score is? Call the Advocacy Network. 321-947-3220. Talk to Carl. He can help you regain your financial independence. Change your life today. 321-947-3220. Talk to Carl.
We are back. Thanks for staying with us. Joined now direct from Nashville, Tennessee by Mr. Andy Ross. Andy's the CEO of American Rebel Holdings Incorporated. The stock symbol's AREB. Andy, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Now, Andy, you recently reported from the SHOT Show in Las Vegas. You recently went to the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. How is that show different from the SHOT Show?
Well, the SHOT Show is a dealer-only show, an industry show, where people who own sporting goods stores, hunting stores, gun shops, they come and they make purchases for the entire year or maybe at least 6 months out. They see everything new. At a show like Harrisburg, PA, what we do there is we take all of our products and we set up a booth for retail sales. It's open to the public, and people actually fly in for that show, not just from all over the country, but from all over the world. So it's a lot more busy. The booth's always packed. There's a lot of fanfare around the music, TV, the products, and it really gives you an opportunity to meet the people that actually use the products and buy the products every day.
Well, this is American Rebel's second year to exhibit at the Great American Outdoor Show. How did it go this year compared to last year for American Rebel?
Well, this year we exceeded our sales last year by times 4. We sold just over 416 individual products, and we only count the products that retail for over $100. So, we sold a lot of hats and T-shirts, but those don't kind of go into the mix. That's about 4 times better than we did last year, but I do want to say that we had expanded the booth, we had expanded the Cartwright line, and we had our A-team there. So. It was great. And one thing that really helped too is a lot of people that purchased from us last year, they were back in the booth this year, not only buying more products for themselves, but American Rebel products for friends and family.
Outside of hats and T-shirts that you mentioned, what products were your best sellers at the show?
I would say the Cartwright line was the best-selling product line for us. It's our canvas coat line as well as our canvas backpacks. They are offered in black, olive green, and brown. They're insulated and have a flannel lining. Right behind that would have been our Freedom Jacket. I happen to be wearing one right now. It comes in a variety of colors and also has a matching bag. Of course, all of our products are concealed carry. Certainly want to mention the ladies' product sold extremely well. But if you're asking me what was the number one, I would have to say our Cartwright line.
Well, Andy, do you see growing interest in people with regards to concealed carry these days?
There's definitely growing interest in concealed carry. That's one reason our company is expanding so rapidly. The thing that we have to do is we have to think of ourselves not only as a concealed carry company, but a fashion company. Just because we make a product that will allow someone to conceal and carry doesn't mean that they're going to wear our product if it doesn't fit the style or the image that they've set for themselves. That's why we offer a variety of product lines and looks and styles. The other thing I want to say about concealed carry, everybody always asks me, what's your biggest market? It's all the people who concealed carry, right? That's not actually our biggest market. Our biggest market is everybody out there that's on the fence to carry, and they see our product and they say, if I had that coat or I had that backpack or I had that handbag, I would carry. So we're offering people products maybe that they're buying actually the concealed carry product before they've even made the decision to carry, and we're a part of that decision to allow them to carry and access a handgun and be concealed and safe.
What's the main reason that people are interested in carry and concealed carry?
The reason people are interested in being concealed and safe is because in today's world, you never know, what can happen. All hell could break loose at a Starbucks, and people are more aware of that. They want to be able to defend themselves, to be able to defend friends, family, or even a room full of strangers. So I think everybody is just, the key is to be concealed and safe, not just carrying loosely, but to know that your handgun's properly stowed and you're safe out there, but you can access it if you need it. And the bottom line is, you never know when you're going to need it. You can't turn on the news today without hearing, something that's happened that you thought would never happen. And I think that growing concern is making people want to make sure that they can protect themselves.
Since the NRA created the Great American Outdoor Show in 2014, there seems to be renewed interest in this consumer show. Lots of celebrities, and I see your friend Lee Brice has performed a concert there.
Yeah, the Great American Outdoor Show has actually been going since 1965, but as you mentioned, the NRA picked it up and took it over, and it's just continuing to grow. They always have good entertainment. Lee Brice is a great friend of mine and a great artist, several #1 hits on his own. Several #1s he's written for other artists, and he's a great friend. He took great care of us, gave us the rock star treatment. We wanted for nothing backstage, beside the stage. And, the thing that was really made the trip for me was that I was able to take part of my team, people who work for American Rebel and are helping us build America's patriotic brand, and I was able to treat them to that. I can see Lee right here in Nashville and hang out, and of course I always enjoy going to a show. But to get to take somebody backstage and introduce them to that kind of treatment and such a great guy and a great artist, that was the real pleasure there.
Well, Andy, what's next for American Rebel?
Well, you might be able to tell by the background here, you've caught me at home in Nashville. Got a rare few days here. But come tomorrow, I'm jumping on a plane and headed to Fort Worth, Texas for the MBS show. Again, that's a dealer-only show, similar to SHOT. And we're going to be expanding, not only showing our expansion of our concealed carry line, but we're also going to show the introduction of our handgun safes. We've got some really great technology there that we filed some patents on. It's a little premature to let the cat out of the bag and talk about all those features. I want to make sure we got everything properly filed, but I am positive we're going to have some great intellectual property. And not only do we already have it in the concealed carry world, but we're going to have it in the safe world as well.
American Rebel Holdings Incorporated, AREB. Andy, fascinating interview. Thanks so much for joining us again.
American Rebel, America's patriotic brand.
And joining us now via Skype is Neil Biafor. Neil is the CEO of a company called Quickleaf LLC. Neil, welcome to the program.
Hey there, Don. How's it going?
It's going terrific. Now, you've got a fascinating company, great business model. Tell us what Quickleaf does.
Yeah, Quickleaf is a technology company that has developed the world's first quick and collect platform for the cannabis industry. It's specifically made for cannabis stores known as dispensaries. Our platform is called Quick Collect, and it allows for legal cannabis customers to order online and schedule their orders for convenience and pick up their orders at dispensaries on their own time by just scanning their purchase orders at our lockers and picking their order up.
Well, the cannabis space is growing at a meteoric rate. Dispensaries are sometimes overwhelmed. So it's your aim to bring convenience to the space?
Yes, that's exactly right. Our aim is to add convenience. Right now there's a lot of long lines in dispensaries. There's just a lot of constriction when it comes to sales that leave a lot of the customers and patients with an unpleasant taste in their mouth when they leave stores.
Well, are there any issues with security or safety?
Yeah, so that's a great question. There are issues with security, and that is why our outdoor unit is actually made out of a high-grade steel and is designed to be bolted to the ground and to the wall of a dispensary and keep all products secure at all times.
So this is like, for example, a secure locker at a bus stop, or like an Amazon locker when you're getting a shipment to a neutral location.
Yes, that's exactly right. Amazon Locker is the closest comparison right now. That's exactly our exact mindset, is to become the Amazon lockers of the cannabis industry.
Now, you have an opportunity for people to participate with you as investors. You have an offering. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we recently launched our offering on Fundana.com to raise money for product development, and we are live as of right now, and things have been going very well. Investors can check us out at Fundana.
I thought what was really interesting is people can participate with you for as little as like, what, $300?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Investors can get in now for as little as $300. The terms of the investment they can view on Fundana, but our biggest goal long term is to bring investors and allow them the opportunity to get in on cannabis sales and close the gap there. And that's what a lot of investors have been looking for, is how do they become a part of cannabis sales and profit from it.
So to reiterate, so you order your product online and you go to the dispensary and the first thing you see is a long line. You're like, oh my gosh, how long am I going to be here? Of course, the dispensary is overwhelmed as well. But then you've got your locker either situated inside a dispensary or just outside a dispensary, and they can just go to it, scan their code, and boom, they're ready to go.
That's exactly right. And even before that, they can already order at home. There's no need to even go into their dispensary anymore because they can order from their phone online or at the convenience of their own time on their laptop or desktop.
So your lockers can basically operate on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week basis.
Exactly. And that really opens up dispensaries to increase their sales, and on top of that, to relieve a lot of the overhead with adding employees when they increase sales.
How soon do you think it'll be before you can have units in place, Neil?
So we already have agreements with dispensaries in Michigan and Detroit here, and we plan to have functioning lockers live in October, at the latest, December.
That's fascinating. For more information, visit their website at quickleaf.com. That's QWIKleaf.com. Check out their offering at Fundana. Once again, Quickleaf LLC. Neil, congratulations. Fascinating business model. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Don. I appreciate it.
Well, California's pulled the plug on the bullet train. We're going to talk about why it never made any sense to begin with on this week's Money Wrap radio program. To find a radio station near you or listen online, go to moneywrap.com. Call us right now, 888-259-4449 for free information about our featured guests, toll free from anywhere in the world. Again, toll free, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's our program this week. As always, we'll be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us.